Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Oh my God, that was so loud outside. People are like, oh my God, oh my God. Anyway, how are you guys doing today? Listen, I have not done a rant video in a very long time, and I have some issues today. So this right here is a rant video. An honest, true rant video about what is going on in my life. But listen, I always know that there are like one boy or girl out there that are very, one boy or girl, this little light of mine, I'm gonna make it. There's always one student in drama class that's very confused. They're like, we don't understand Mr. Monn's, or if this was French class, Monsieur Monn's humor. We don't get it. This is a joke, okay? So yes, I do really feel this way about these things, but this is supposed to be lighthearted, okay? I like sitting here looking at this camera while I'm outside in the full light of day. Live. Cats just ran everywhere. Anyway, and I'm like looking at myself and I'm like, you have gained so much weight. You know, like, it's so sad because like with female influencers, when they gain weight, because I'm an influencer, I've decided, having been stuck inside so much, screw it. I'm just an influencer of the world now, okay? I'm about to influence you on some things. I have props that you should buy. But anyway, when like female influencers like gain weight, people always accuse them of being pregnant. But when like male influencers, you're just fat. Like I'm just fat. And I'll tell you why. It's because I'm on this fantastic diet since I've been stuck inside. And the diet is consistent of these wonderful cheddar and sour cream potatoes. Oh my God, I live for them so much. And I will tell you what my favorite sound in the entire world was. People always think this is really weird because I used to like the sound of turn signals in cars and rain on the roof of my car, and like when I'm sleeping at night, like if you have the window open, I love the sound of rain and lightning and thunder and all that kind of stuff. I do think that one of my new favorite sounds is, but anyway, so, but one of my new favorite sounds is the sound of the Lay's French onion dip when you open it. Listen to this. It has to be like 3 o'clock in the morning too. That is such a fantastic sound. And then look at that. I mean, that is the most fantastic processed food you've ever seen in your entire life. This is not my part of the rant, okay? I just need some energy, but I will tell you what really pisses me off is I have had this bag of chips sitting up in the closet to eat, and I got so excited about it, and do you see, it's all crumbs. It's all just total crumbs. I'm so over it. There's gotta be one. This is about as good as it gets in here. So anyway, I just need a little bit of energy, and then we can go on with the video. Okay. Look at our little chip bag thing, and that's so cute. It's dog paws, get it? Okay, anyway. The rant I have done, of all of my rants, I'm saying this so weirdly, that has gotten the most questions, comments, people refer to it still on a daily basis, is my rant that I did on September 24th of 2018. Yes, I did just look it up, and it's been exactly 18 months. Was a rant that I did called, I Need to Rant. So I thought I would do a little update on that. Clean up as you go. So anyway, I thought I would do a little update on that rant because that rant was about the census lady. First we had the census lady, okay, who I called Census Sally. And then we had a census man, and his name I think was Census Warren, I can't remember. But I was so over it, if you remember. She showed up at our door, she was looking in my kitchen window, all kinds of stuff, okay? She even put her car, like, behind our driveway so we couldn't get out. She was, I mean, and I had already done, I did the census with her once, right? This was the second time of doing it. And she was talking about, you have to go back and watch the video, okay? Watch that first before you watch this or it won't make any sense. But anyway, so she was like relentless, okay? And it just got so bad, and finally I felt so bad for her because like one day I was just like, we don't want to do it, we don't want to do it. And she was like, this is my job, I'm an essential knowledge worker. That's what they call them, is knowledge workers. So anyway, so people have been asking me, like, well, whatever happened with the census? What happened with the census? You haven't talked about the census. And the reason I haven't talked about the census is because I'm not like a lot of YouTubers out there that make up story times. Nothing else happened. They just left us alone, okay? Well, the census is back in town. How do I know? First, we started getting all these letters. I have all of these letters from the Census Bureau. This one's not open yet, so we're going to go through it in just a second. But first, I want to tell you, I have recently started getting mass messages from the census lady. And we have, are you ready? I cannot even believe this. It is the same census lady. I cannot believe it. She's like, okay, so if you go in here, and I'm not going to play the messages for you because she says her name, but she's like, Peter, I'm sure that you remember me from our last census. And I'm like, oh, hell's bells. I can't believe she is actually back. I am like, and I have to be I'm hiding out in the back patio. See, this is where I live now. I got my onion dip, and I got my water, and I got my fan, and I got my chips, and I'm sat back here, okay? Listen, you can't come for me. So anyway, I go in here, and let me pull up the message, the first one. She was like, Mr. Monn, and I'm just reading the translation. She's like, this is so-and-so with the U.S. Census Bureau. I'm sure that you remember me from the last time. I'm calling concerning a survey your address has been asked to participate in. If you have a chance, please call me, blah, blah, blah. It should only take maybe 10 minutes if you get my voicemail. Please, we can contact each other, and then we can have a nice chat. She said that last time. It will leave time for us to have I don't want to have a chat with you. I don't care about you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to have a chat with you. I don't want to discuss the weather. I don't even want to do the census. We have been picked for the census literally every single time it comes around. And I have asked my other neighbors, I've been like, do you get picked for the census? They're like, no, we don't ever get picked for the census. I'm like, listen, why do we keep on getting picked for the census? And the census, which is so crazy, is we live basically in a retirement community, okay? The average age of my neighbors, who can probably hear me right now, although they probably can't because they probably all have their hearing aids turned down. I know God knows I need one because I can hardly hear on this ear. Because yes, I'm the old man of YouTube, but let me tell you, the average age of our neighbors is 75 to 80, okay? There is no violence in this neighborhood. There is no violence in this neighborhood, okay? And that's what it's always about. Just going to verify the phone number you gave me. If you leave your name and number, I will give you a call back today. Thank you. Have a good day. Okay? Glad I didn't call her back. So then the next day, she calls. She says, Mr. Monn. Ah! Mr. Monn, it is Census Sally calling from the United States Census Bureau again, and I need to speak with you about concerning a survey that your household has been asked to participate in. Please return my call. This is very important. I hope you remember me from the last time that we did the census. Like, how could I forget you? So she has called, and it's the same message, okay? Let me tell you how many times she's called. She's called, wait, let me go down here. Okay, she's called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times that she has called, okay, in the last week. 7 times in a week. I swear to God, if this woman shows up at my front door, I'm gonna be like, social distancing, don't even come on our property, okay? We're not leaving the house. We're not talking to anybody. You better not even come near my front door. Don't be looking at my kitchen window. I'm tired of this, okay? So anyway, then I got this. Okay, my battery died. I had to go replace my battery. But anyway, as you can see, we have our Census Bureau letter here, right here, that I haven't opened yet. You can see it's still a little damp because we used our Lysol wipes to clean it off, like we're doing on everything right now. All right, and I opened this letter. Now, I have to tell you, I threw the other ones away. I know, I'm a horrible person. I'm a horrible person. Anytime, like, there's always, like, the serious Sally, or, listen, you sour Susans and you negative Nancys out there, listen. Every time I talk about this on my vlog, there's at least one person that's like, it's your duty to do the census. I'm like, do you know how many times I've done this census? And when she told me the first time that it would only take me 10 or 15 minutes, it took over an hour. I don't even remember how long it was now. I'd have to go back and watch the whole video through. But it literally was like an hour and a half that we were on the phone, okay? Because she wanted to chit-chat. It had nothing to do with the census. Like, the majority of the time, she would be like, she would ask a question and she'd say, how many times since such and such date and such date has your, house been vandalized with spray paint? Like, the real specific questions. And I'm like, never. And she's like, would that be never, always, rarely? And there was like 6 questions. I'm like, never. It hasn't happened. And she's like, okay, oh, that's so nice. Because, like, in my neighborhood, and she would go on and on and on. I'd be like, okay, is there another question? And she'd go, oh, ah. And then she'd go to the next question, and she'd say, how many times in the last 2 years or something like that has your neighborhood had plants that have been stolen from your front walkway? And I'm like, who'd care? And she'd be like, oh, you're so funny, that's not one of our answers. The answers are never, rarely, often, maybe, who'd care, I don't know, whatever. And I'm like sitting there literally going crazy. And then I'd say, that doesn't happen in our neighborhood, okay? We literally have like a neighborhood watch, and it's guards and all kinds of stuff. Oh, that's so nice. You know, I planted these hostas one time. Oh my God, I spent $20 a hosta when I was at the hardware store. Oh my God, did you ever go to the hardware store? The hardware store is so incredibly difficult to even get in. And then the hostas there are more expensive than if you buy them off of one of those trucks. But I was at the hardware store anyway, so I bought these hostas. I'm like, And she's like, oh my God, these hostas were beautiful. They just got so big in my yard. And you know, one day I walked out there and every hosta was gone. I'm like, you don't say. And she's like, and that wasn't the only time. And I'm like, oh, hell's bells, is this ever gonna end? My God. So anyway, I don't have time for the chit chat. I just don't. Now I'm heated. No, really, I just wanted to spin the fan. Okay. Dear resident, didn't even say my name on this thing. Say my name, say my name. Okay, dear resident. United States Department of Commerce, Economics and Statistics, oh my God, statistics was not my best class, and I never took it in high school. Hell, I hardly passed business math with the addition machine. Do you remember that back? We didn't have cell phones that had the calculator. We had addition machines. Do you remember that? You'd sit in there like a bunch of stenographers in a courtroom. I thought I was like on Law and Order or something back then in that class. I hardly passed that class too. Anyway, but see, it doesn't really matter, okay? I mean, I graduated with a 1.86. Listen, look at me now. I'm a YouTuber of the world, eating potato chips on my back porch, okay? Hoping that Census Sally don't show up in my door any day because I might want to punch her lights out, and I'm not a violent person. And then I'd have to take the census about being a violent person because I punched Census Sally, and then she'd be taking a census on me. So just stay peaceful, okay? It's just much better that way. Dear resident, several months ago, oh my God, I cannot believe this is literally this is the exact same one. Dear resident, several months ago, we contacted residents of your address to participate in the National Crime Victimization Survey. The National Crime Victimization Survey, let me tell you literally what these questions are about, okay? Spray painting your garage door, which that actually had happened to us one time. And then what I wanted to tell her was, listen, when we moved in this neighborhood, let me tell you these people, okay? So when we moved in this neighborhood, we were walking our dog in our own yard, okay? And the dog was pooping in the yard. And the lady from across the street, she wouldn't even leave her yard. I've actually told this story on here before, so you can go fact check that for all of you negative Nancys and sour Susans out there that don't believe anything I say. Anyway, she was standing like in her yard, like a foot away from the very edge. And so we're over there. And I'm like, go inside. I'm getting ready to go inside. And she goes, are you going to clean that up? And I said, yeah, I was just going to do that in a second. I had absolutely no intention of cleaning up my dog's poop in my own yard. I was like, if somebody wants to walk through my yard and get poop on their shoe, that's their business. She shouldn't have been walking in my yard, right? So anyway, so I was like, yeah, I was going to pick it up in a second. And she goes, okay. She goes, it's just not very nice to step in it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, lady, okay? So anyway, I go inside. And I put the dog inside, and I go get the plastic bag, and I'm trying to like pick it up, and it won't, you can't pick it up off grass. It's just a mess of trouble. Have you ever tried to do that? Have you ever tried to poop scoop with and then it feels like you got it in your fingers and stuff, but you got the plastic bag, okay? It's gross, okay? We just, listen, it doesn't matter, okay? All three of us that live back here, all three of us have dogs. We let our dogs poop in the backyard. We don't care, okay? And then it gets dry, and then when the lawn mower guy comes by, it's just as compost. And we've all agreed to just be okay with that, and that's where we're at. And if you walk out in the yard, God bless you, okay? You might get poop on your foot, okay? Just saying. So if you're a census person, you might want to make sure not coming back to our back door, okay? I'm just saying, okay? So anyway, so I go back out there and I'm picking up this poop, right? And I'm not real happy about it. And it won't get into this bag. And, you have to turn the bag over and the plastic's getting there. And I'm like, and all this kind of stuff, right? And she has now moved to the end of the lawn, the driveway area, okay? But she won't step into the street to save her life. And she goes, I'm just saying, it's not very nice if you stepped in it. And I go, and then I stand up, and she goes, I'm just saying. I start to turn away, and I turn around, and I said, let me tell you something what's not very nice, okay? I said, we have moved into this neighborhood. We have been in this neighborhood for a month. I said, not one neighbor has brought us a casserole. I said, nobody has brought us a loaf of bread and said, how are you guys doing? Do you like the neighborhood? Blah, blah, blah. Not one person. Not one MFer in this neighborhood brought us a loaf of bread and said, hey, I hope you enjoy the neighborhood. Welcome. Let's be real neighborly. Not one person. And I said, and not you either. I said, so I picked up the poop, but let's just let it be known I picked up the poop, and nobody has been nice to us as a neighbor. And I walked inside, right? And I told my husband, I said, let me tell you something about these people. I said, I told that lady off. She'll never be messing with us again. The next day, or later that night, I don't remember what it was now, but we went out to dinner somewhere, and we were coming back home, and I was getting the mail out of the mailbox. Do you know what was in there? A half-eaten bag of Wonder Bread. That old lady, she had boogered me. Boogered me. I was so pissed. I was like, ooh, she got in. She got in. I wanted to report her, okay? I wanted to report her to the victimization, but she didn't say it. That wasn't one of the questions. Okay, here we go. Dear resident, several months ago, we contacted residents of your address to participate in the National Crime Victimization Survey. The survey collects information about the type and amount of crime committed against people in the United States. No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. The U.S. Census Bureau conducts this survey on behalf of, before I start belching that the French onion dip. Listen, that one woman got the what's her show? I saw it on national television the other day. I thought to myself, it is crazy that Dr. Pimple Popper, she got her own show. Okay, she's probably, I don't know, riding out the quarantine in the south of France on a boat somewhere because she's a pimple popper. Okay, I might be the belcher of the world or something like that. Okay, I might be Dr. Farter Belcher or something like that. Get me out of here! Come on, these drama videos. Nobody want to watch this drama. They don't care about nobody in the beauty industry. Nobody cares about that shit no more. Anyway, since many crimes are never reported to the police, why not? You should always call the police. Information from this survey is used to get a more complete picture of crime occurring in our country, which I think is fine. I think it is, okay? The information you provide will give a better understanding of crime and its impact on victims. The survey results are used to develop programs to aid crime victims and prevent crime. The success of the survey depends. Is the survey on here? No. I have to call. Damn it, Janet. I would just take it if it was like a multiple choice. I'd just go do, and we'd be done with the whole thing. We cannot substitute another address for yours. And it says on the envelope, let me just tell you, it says current resident. How does our address keep on getting picked for this shit? It's BS. By law, the Census Bureau can only use your responses to produce statistics. No information about you or your household can be identified from these statistics. Well, what's interesting to me about that is, okay, when she first started taking the census, when I first started doing the census, she asked me a bunch of personal questions, okay? She asked me all kinds of things about it. And I was like, you know, ages and all that kind of stuff. She asked me all that kind of stuff. So what are you talking about? I got a hair hanging off my hat, always. I'm like, what are you talking about? You can't take personal information from this. But anyway, answers to frequently asked questions are on the back of this letter if you would like further information. Now listen, before we get to the end of this, I'm going to tell you, I am going to take this census, I'm going to call her up, I'm going to be real nice, good Judy, because you know that's what we are over here, we're good Judys, right? So I'm going to call her up, I'm going to say, listen, good Judy, let's do the census, I got 10 minutes. She goes, oh, we got all kind of time for chit-chat. I said, nope, no chit-chat, census, stick to the census, that's your job, you're an essential knowledge worker of the world, okay? You better stick to it, stick to the census, and at 10 minutes, I'm hanging up the phone. That's what I'm doing. What is the National Crime Victimization Survey? This survey collects data about experiences with crime, both reported and not reported to the police. Periodically, the survey includes additional topics such as crime in schools, contacts with law enforcement, and identity theft. Well, I have to tell you this. I did tell her, she asked me, like, have you ever made a police report from where you live? And I said, yes, I did, because, this is a true story, I did a whole video about this with my husband. One time, we were sitting in the house, my husband and I, we came home from watching some movie or something like that. Oh, no, we came home and we were watching a movie here. We were watching that Paranormal Experience, and he said it was dumb, so we turned it off. Well, we were inside in our bed, and we hadn't used any of the lamps downstairs or anything like that. So we were upstairs in our bed, and I was on my iPad, and I was watching stuff, and then I turned my iPad off, and he was asleep already, and all of a sudden, all of our downstairs lights, they went up, and I was like, from this one lamp, right, that they're all plugged into. There are birds everywhere, better not poop on my head. But anyway, listen, I was scared to death. I was like, Alex, there's somebody in our house. And he goes, what? And I go, there is somebody in our house. He goes, how do you know? I go, look at the light, because we have a loft bedroom. I said, look, those lights are on downstairs. There's somebody in our house. And he started putting on clothes, going downstairs. I said, what are you doing? You're not going down there. There's murderers in our house. He goes, what do you think it is? So we go downstairs, okay? True story. That lamp hadn't even been plugged in, and all of a sudden it was just full light. And it was one of those lights where you go 1, 2, 3, and it went from 0 to 3 like that, right? I was so spooked. Listen, y'all know, have you ever seen my vlog on Fox Hollow Farms? Go watch that vlog, okay? I did a paranormal investigation. It's my most viewed vlog ever over there. People live for it. But anyway, so people still to this day, they're always like, oh, that Herb Baumeister case. I'm like, I know, it's so sad, isn't it? But anyway, so Alex goes down there, he starts checking the whole house. I go, well, if you're going to do it, he's got like a knife in his hand. I go down in the basement, check the basement too. So he's going everywhere and whatever. And I go, I'm calling the police. And he goes, what? I go, I'm calling the police. I saw that movie, The Entity. He goes, The Entity? He goes, what are you talking about? I said, I saw that movie, and the problem was she didn't make no police reports, and nobody believed her that there were spirits up in her house. And I'm making a police report. He goes, are you making a police report? I go, I'm making a police report. And I said, I'm not coming back inside the house until the police get here either. So I call the police. Alex and the dogs, they go back to bed, right? I call the police and I wait outside, and I am a nervous wreck out there, right? And I'm sitting out there, and I'm like, the police officer shows up, and so he's like, what's going on? And I go, well, let me tell you the story. So he goes, oh, first of all, he goes through and he does a whole check of the house, right? So then he comes back outside, and I go, did you find anything? He goes, no, I looked all through the basement with the flashlight, and there's nobody in this house. And I said, okay. I go, and he goes, do you still want to make a police report? I said, well, hell yes, I want to still make a police report. And he goes, well, what happened? And I said, well, let me tell you something. I said, okay, here's what happened. We were watching Paranormal Experience, and I said, and then I went to bed after my husband did, and I said, and then the lights came up out of nowhere, and I said, there's some kind of spirit or something in my house, and no, because I watched that movie, The Entity, that she didn't make police reports, and so nobody believed her. And he goes, you don't want me to make this police report. And I go, what? And he goes, trust me, you don't want me to make this police report. I go, oh, yes, I do. And he goes, no, you don't want me to make this police report. I was like, ah! I was livid. I was like, see now, and nobody is going to believe me when the spooks and the ghosts come up to my house. They're going to come in, they're going to get me, the spirits and everything. And nobody is going to believe me. Nobody. But I tried to tell her on that on the census thing, and she started laughing at me. She goes, I went to a psychic one time. I thought, oh, hell, lady, listen. So anyway, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, okay? I'm going to do this census report. I should record it. Oh, my God, I should record it. No, that's probably against the law or something, don't you think? But anyway, I'm going to do the census report. I'm going to call her up, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do an update and let you guys know what she says. If she makes me chit-chat for an hour, I swear to God, I'm going to lose it. I thought I was going to say something bad, but listen, I'm going to lose it, okay? I'm going to lose it! So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Has this ever happened to you? And if she shows up at my door, I'm going to say, 6 to 10 feet, you need to stay away. Don't even come up on our property. Don't even park near us. Okay, I've had it with you, okay? So anyway, let me know what you think about that. I hope you guys are having a good day. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.